This May, a group of Taipei college students headed into the mountains, bearing personalized gifts for a school attended by Atayal children. During their time in the indigenous village, they ended up receiving priceless gifts of their own from their new friends. Our Sunday special report.
It's the middle of May. These undergrads from Northern Taiwan are following their instructor into a remote community for an urban-rural exchange event. They're excited to escape the suffocation of the epidemic and to breathe in fresh country air. Meanwhile, at Yisheng Elementary School in Taoyuan's Yisheng Township, a group of Atayal children are playing excitedly. Of the school's 35 children, 2/3 have gathered here to await the university students' arrival. It's a two-day exchange event, and the first step is the introduction. When the college students and the children meet, they're strangers from two different worlds, each stepping out of their comfort zones. It's awkward at first, but the ice thaws quickly once the fun and games begin. On the first day of the event, the children introduce the college students to their village. Upon hiking a steep mountain trail, the group sees the 15-story-high Yisheng suspension bridge hanging high above a riverbed. The narrow, high-up bridge carries a sense of danger that few of the local children are willing to brave. Halfway across the bridge, the fear sets in.
On the first day we met each other, and we were still not very familiar with the children. Then we all made off for the suspension bridge, and they were quite scared. That made them open up to us. They just wrapped their arms around us and yelled, "I'm scared."
The group stumbles on another way to bond.
Normally I don't go out that often, and I also don't really like playing in the water. The reason I played in the water with the kids this time was because I had already gotten wet, so I just got in the water and played with them. As soon as the kids saw I got into the water, they said, "That girl got into the water, quick splash her." I was attacked from all sides. It reminded me of my own childhood.
Yisheng Suspension Bridge and Yunei River are both famous local spots. What these children from the countryside had to offer their new friends from the city was a lesson on lowering their guard and letting go of their stress.
小朋友在跟大学生互动过程中
In the process of their interaction, those children and university students quickly grew close. They played together. That's not something that many children from the city are able to do with young adults. Because rural kids are not as wary of others, they are friendlier to others.
After exploring Yisheng's natural beauty, the college students learn about the lives of the area's children. They're at the home of 6th grader Hu Yi. At the second floor of Hu's home, the university students discover one interesting thing after another. Holding out a 1-meter-long hawk wing, Hu opens their eyes to a different way of life.
I'm
a student from Malaysia. In Malaysia, I was quite the typical city kid. When I went to the second floor of Hui's home and he showed us the hawk wing, it was a shock to see something like that appear before my eyes. I'd never before encountered culture like this, and it gave me a new way of thinking about things. To see their way of life and how things are for them, like if they want to eat, they may just go hunting.
The rural children give their city friends something else: exposure to diversity. City life can be monotone, with travel limited to the workplace, the supermarket, and the home. Taiwan's indigenous people, who are often unseen by mainstream society, still largely rely on nature for food. Theirs is a life of symbiotic coexistence with nature. Hu and his 8 siblings live with their grandparents. His indigenous community faces the same challenge that all rural communities face: an exodus of young people. Hu and his siblings were raised by his grandparents. His parents divorced, and his father lives in Taipei. Due to the demands of his job, it has been nearly 3 months since he has come home.
这个地方工作机会比较不多。
In a place like this, there are few work opportunities, so most people are only able to find odd jobs. If a family has land, they can do some farming, like maybe grow ginger or grow some vegetables, but it won't be enough to provide food for the entire family.
Growing up in a difficult environment, the children come to clearly see the hard work of those who raised them. As a result, the kids tend to be helpful around the house and well-behaved.
Taking care of the kids makes your whole body sore, especially the shoulders. Sometimes his grandfather will lie down on his stomach and Hui will massage him. He's a very sweet boy.
Half the children at Yisheng Elementary School come from disadvantaged homes. For the university students, exposure to these children's lives has provided a third gift, a reminder to cherish what they have.
热水啊，他们都要用自己烧。
To use hot water, they have to boil it themselves and then use that for washing. I've started to feel content, to feel that I'm quite fortunate to have the life I have. I have power, I have water, and all I need to do is turn it on.
With the onset of a sudden downpour, the activities on day one come to a close. The college students leave with mixed emotions that linger and permeate like fog after the rain. It's day 2. To thank the kids for showing them around, the college students teach them how to make macarons. It's an activity cooked up by their instructor, Chen Yanchu. Before the lesson began, he taught the college students how to make macarons so that they would be able to teach the kids. It's a dessert that embodies the reverie and leisure of a big city. The children are filled with eager anticipation. Like most kids, these ones have a sweet tooth. It's a rare treat to be able to make the confections themselves.
他们之前完全没有烘焙过。
They had never baked anything before this. There aren't resources for that up in the mountains. No baking classes. So it would have been very hard for them to try baking. We seized this opportunity to bake with them. Every one of them said they wanted to do it, and they were very happy.
These colorful macarons were the college students' first gift to the children, self-affirmation.
那他们今天知道说
They were able to make a dessert at school that everyone enjoys eating. Our hope has always been for the kids to learn skills with which they can change their lives. Studying hard is a skill. The ability to make macarons is also a skill.
As they wait for the fragrance of macarons to waft from the oven, the children take to the stage to receive a small gift from their city friends. The university students had asked the children what they wanted beforehand so that they could find a way to get it for them. This mountain bike was obtained through a donation drive on social media by a student named Zhou Zhaohong. He then took it to a shop to have it restored so that today he could hand it over to You Yingxing.
我们帮他们实现梦想的那一刻。
That moment when we fulfilled their wish, that moment when I gave Yo Yingxin her bike, that moment of surprise, that gave us a very great, very moving memory.
好，妈妈来，对，小心一点，保持平衡。对对对对对。
Some children wanted gifts that were not material things.
有好多小朋友都告诉我们说
Lots of children said to us that they wish for their grandparents to be healthy. That kind of thing makes you realize that some children are so mature and that they are aware of their family's love for them.
Hu said that the gift he wanted most was to see his father, who had been gone for 3 months.
不易，大了呢，也快要毕业了，再过一个月的时间，就是打算今年呢，我今年做完，明年我就回去。
His dad couldn't make it home, but sat down to make a video. As soon as it starts to play, the boy bursts into tears.
知道你很独立，希望你在这段时间能够好好的自我管理。
Seeing the person he misses the most and hearing that familiar voice, the boy's innermost thoughts come rising up.
He used this as an opportunity to express his emotions. It was a good thing for him because it's a memorable moment in his life that could lead him toward farther growth. But whatever effects it has, we'll have to wait to find out.
A bicycle, a father's message. These personalized gifts were the second thing given to the children by the university students. In the process, they gave themselves the best gift possible.
Those of us who have lived a long time in the city can be a bit jaded. This exchange and our interactions with the kids have made me engage in a lot of introspection. People helping other people, that's a very important thing.
对他们来讲，应该是第一次送礼物给这个偏乡的小朋友。
This was probably their first time giving gifts to kids in the countryside. These people born around the millennium, we call them Generation Z. They may have been well protected by their families. For them, sticking out their hand, showing concern for more people around themselves is a part of maturing. It's a lesson.
This macaron, with its crispy shell and soft interior, is sweet but not cloying. It's as pleasing as the new friendship between the two groups of students. On one side, a city. On the other, a village. On one side, a university, and on the other side, an elementary school. It's an encounter between the sincere and unfiltered nature of children from the countryside and the curiosity and compassion of college students. Through their exchange of gifts, a seed was planted, one that could take root and shape their lives in the future.